Welcome. So what I want to do is just kind of go over, here's a statement, and what I want to do is show you how to write it in conditional form, and as well as identify the hypothesis conclusion, and then then be able to determine if that statement is true or false. So the first thing we need to do, remember when we're writing a conditional statements, it's if P, what am I doing? If P, then Q. Okay? So we got to be able to write this in if form. So it says humans need water to live. So therefore I can write if you are a human, then you need water to live. And guess I ran out a little space there. So the next thing we need to know is, remember the hypothesis is the statement that is going to directly follow the if statement. So if you are human. So you are human is going to be our hypothesis. And then you need water to live is going to be our conclusion. Now, remember, it's always, we like to represent the hypothesis as our P and our Q. And understanding, labeling the hypothesis conclusion as well as labeling them P and Q helps us very much when we're trying to identify the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive, because a lot of times we use this in notation, if P, then Q, if Q, then P, if not P, then not Q, if not Q, then not P. So we use a lot of that notation to help us be able to identify the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. But that's not what we're going to do in this video. What I want to do in this video is be able to determine the truth of this statement. And to do that, we create a truth table, P and Q. And when we're doing a truth table, we can have the hypothesis true and the conclusion true. We can have the hypothesis false and the conclusion false. Where does Q come from? Conclusion false. We could have the hypothesis false and the conclusion true. And we could have the hypothesis true and the conclusion false. And the only time that a statement is going to be false is when the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. So let's go and take a look at an example of this and see if this statement in conditional form is going to be true. So if you are human, let's pretend we have a human. Then do you have to have water? Yes, you have to have water. So that would be true, right? So you are human and you need water to live. Both are true. Let's say it's false. Let's say we're not talking about a human, right? Doesn't need water to live. Well, we could say, and it doesn't need water to live. I'm not sure of what organism, but I'm sure there's some organisms out there that, maybe even like some bacteria or something, they don't need maybe as much water to live, so they can survive without water. What about, again, if you're not talking about a human, maybe like a plant, but they do need water to live, right? However, the statement is still going to be true. Even if we're not talking about a human, as long as it needs water to live, the statement is still going to be true. But how about we are talking about a human? So we are talking about a human, but they don't need water to live, right? Don't know how this is going to be possible, because as far as I'm concerned, all humans need water to live. So therefore, if you have a false and then a true, then this statement would be false. But since this statement is both true and true, this statement is going to be true. So the only time a statement would be true or false is if this was true and this was false. But all humans need water to live, so that is obviously true. So our statement is going to be true. Thanks.